Uh-oh, here we go. Let's get it in, y'all. Terence Crawford will lose to Jeff Horn if he does not do these things. And with me saying that, some of you might think I'm crazy. You think I'm loco. And hey, maybe I am. I might be. But in this case, I'm not. Because trust, this is a very losable fight for Terence Crawford if he does not mind his P's and Q's. So what we're going to do today is we are going to give you the top 3 things we feel Terence Crawford must do in order to defeat Jeff Horn. I'm gonna say it again. Terence Crawford will lose to Jeff Horn if he does not do these things. Let's get it in, y'all. Amazing Combat Sports. Let's go. What is up, my people? It's your man Eric, and I'm back here live with another one. As we said, we are going to give you 3 things we feel Terence Crawford must do in order to avoid defeat to Jeff Horn. Now, don't get me wrong. My pick is, was, and always will be Bud Crawford to win this fight. I am picking Terence to win this fight. But I have this feeling if Terence Crawford is not careful and he doesn't navigate these waters just right, this could be a very tough fight for him and possibly an upset. And since this is a Terence Crawford video, I'm gonna get him to help me with something that I need to tell you guys right now. Come on, bud, help me out. What I need you guys to do right now before we start, I need you to like, I need you to comment, to subscribe. See, some of y'all didn't hear me, so let's say it again. I need y'all to like, I need y'all to comment, and I need y'all to subscribe. Woo! The first thing Bud Crawford must do in order to beat Jeff Horn is start early and not fall in love with the counterpunch. Start early and not fall in love with the counterpunch. Now let me break this down for you. Let's start with the start early part. We know that Terence Crawford, historically speaking, can sometimes be a slow starter. He takes a few rounds, 3-4 rounds sometimes, to get figured out, to get warmed up. He's computing his opponent. He's sometimes getting his head flown, head popping back, taking punches, and you can kind of be thinking, maybe Terence is in trouble. He's actually losing this fight. But somewhere around 4 or 5, he picks it up, he comes on, and he dominates the way out. He dominates for the rest of the way. But the reason we feel this is a very dangerous move for Terence Crawford against Jeff Horn is because Jeff Horn is a big, unorthodox, strong man. Let's look at some other sports for examples of what I'm trying to say here. Think about football. A big, strong running back, a guy who's big out of the backfield, carries a lot of weight, and he can do some damage to the defenders. What do you want to do with that running back? They want to hit him early because once he gets going, once his momentum gets going, he's very hard to stop. Think NBA, think LeBron James. People say the best way, if there is a way to hold LeBron one-on-one, you want to get up in LeBron, get there, keep him from going, because if LeBron starts a run towards you, if he starts down the hill, he's big, he's strong, it's hard to get him to stop. Same thing with these big guys in boxing. When you are moving up weight classes, if you're Bud Crawford, you're moving up to welterweight. This is your maiden voyage into the welterweight division. If you have a big, strong man like Jeff Horn, you don't want to get that momentum going for him. You don't want to let him bang around on you, because first, this is not like Gamboa. Remember what he did with Gamboa? Gamboa was flying Terence Crawford's head, snapping his head back, hitting him in the body. But Terence Crawford was what? Eating those shots. He was taking all that work. He was eating it for lunch. Terence Crawford was bigger than Gamboa. Gamboa was the smaller man. He could let him work. He could let him get off. If Jeff Horn starts to hit you in the head, on the arms, on the hip, in the body, that is going to take a toll on Terence Crawford, unlike the toll that the smaller man takes. So what we want to see is Terence Crawford more like he was against Julius Ndongo. He got right on it. He got right to work. He came out and established himself. Roy Jones Jr., when he moved up to fight John Ruiz for the heavyweight title, he said it was imperative, it was important that he came right out and put some leather on Ruiz and let him know, I'm the smaller man, but I'm coming here to fight. If you get started early, you can maybe halt or stop some of that early aggression from Horn, give him something to think about, and you're not laying there taking 4 rounds of punches, because if you take those punches for 4 rounds, trust me, when you go to hit that switch in the 5th round, it's not going to sound the same. It used to be like... Now, when you go to hit that switch in the 5th round, after Horn's been punching on your hips and hitting you in the head, it's gonna be like... to get that car started. I'm telling you, it's not going to be the same thing. You have to start early. Okay, the second part of this is he can't fall in love with the counterpunch. He cannot fall in love with the counterpunch. Think how he fought Victor Postol. It was okay for Postol. He was pretty much a counterpuncher that whole night, waiting on Victor to make a mistake and then countering. And you might say, well, Victor's taller than him. He could technically be bigger than him. Let me tell you why that won't work with Jeff Horn. Because Victor was an outside fighter who was looking to play the cat and mouse game. You're quick, I'm quick. Who's gonna outbox who? He was staying on the outside, actually playing a chess match. Terence Crawford is not going to have that in front of him, at least I don't think he will, in Jeff Horn. If Jeff Horn and his team are smart at all, what they are going to want to be is a bull in a china shop. They are going to want to get in there and bust Terence Crawford up. The reason he can't fight Jeff Horn this way, they're going to come at him. They're going to be ugly. They're going to be aggressive. And if you fall in love with the counterpunch and you fight that type of style, what do? You're on the back foot. You're always looking. You're just kind of waiting to react. And that gives that big man more momentum. He's coming towards you and he's coming to make it ugly and he's coming to give you an ugly fight. Remember Floyd Mayweather? His toughest fighters, Castillo won. Maidana was always a guy who just didn't care. Let me just get in here, put my head in here and go after you, because Floyd is looking for that counterpunch, sitting back looking for that counterpunch. It's like a snowball coming down a hill. The more you let that person work, the harder it is to get them stopped. This is not to say that Terence Crawford should not counterpunch. Of course, counterpunch. Use your counters. Use your speed. Give Jeff Horn something to think about. But mentally keep reminding yourself, don't fall in love with the counterpunch, because if I stay back and I'm just looking for counters, I'm giving that big man time to get to me, bang on my hips, bang on my shoulders, and wear me down. So start early and don't fall in love with your counterpunch. Okay, the second thing we think Bud Crawford must do in order to beat Jeff Horn is keep your dog on a leash. Let me say that one again. Keep your dog on a leash. Please, Bud, hear me now. So let me start this one by asking you, the listener, a question. What normally happens, if you know Bud Crawford, what normally happens right after Bud gets hit? He smiles and he wants that get back. He's coming to get that get back. He's smiling, but the dog is out. I mean, the dog is out, and Bud Crawford is a dog. Some people front like they're a dog, but they're really not a dog. Terence Bud Crawford is really a dog, and when you hit him, he wants to get that get back. In some fights, especially with smaller men, think Hank Lundy, think Gamboa, this has worked well for him. But as he moves up in weight, he has to know this can work against him. As he starts to give up a size and a strength advantage, and he has the skill and speed advantage, this type of fight will work against him. Think about this and ask yourself this. What would Jeff Horn love for Terence Crawford to do for him? Would he want Terence Crawford to come into the ring and try to outbox him and be slick, use his skills and his speed? Or does he want Terence to come in and try to knock him out and go blow for blow in a slugfest? He wants a slugfest. That is better for Jeff Horn. You have to keep that dog on a leash. Now, think about this also. Just because your dog is on the leash don't mean he can't bite nobody. I'm gonna say that one again. I'm gonna say that felt good. Just because your dog is on a leash don't mean he can't bite nobody. Your dog can still bite even when it's on the leash. If somebody charges you, you're in the park with your dog, you can still be holding that leash and you can let him bite and you can back that person up. But if you let the leash go and your dog attacks that person, they might have a knife or a gun or whatever they might have, and they can take your dog out. Keep your dog on a leash. Let that dog bite. Jeff gets close. Bite him. But keep the dog on a leash, Bud. Don't let it go and get into a slugfest with Jeff Horn. That's what he wants. That's what gives him his best chance to win. And the last thing I feel Bud Crawford must do if he does not want to lose to Jeff Horn is something I like to call work and will. He must work and will. Let me break down to you what that means. What we do, I'm a boxing instructor in the evenings and sometimes in the morning if we can do it. We teach the kids boxing coaching. Coaching boxing is beautiful. If you know the sport, you can teach the kids discipline, respect, mentorship. It is a beautiful thing. One thing we were always telling the kids who are not come forward power fighters, if they're boxers from the outside, if they're trying to use their speed and their skill, the big man, the stronger man is always going to try to what? Corner you and get you on the ropes. So when you get on the ropes, you must work and then you must will out. Again, let's go back to Floyd Mayweather 1. I'm going to show you a clip here in a second. In this clip, these were the most effective moments for Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather steps to him, trying to pin him on the ring. Floyd gets off his work and then he wheels out of there. Check this out. Here comes Mayweather. Floyd's working. And now Floyd's wheeling away, and look at Mayweather. He has to start all over. This is what Crawford must do. Work and wheel out of there. Get your work off. When the big man comes, when Horn gets you against the rope, get your work off. Flash your combinations. Wheel out of there. Don't stay there and trade. This ties into keeping your dog on a leash. Don't let your manhood get the best of you right there. Get your work off. Wheel out of there. If the crowd boos a little bit, let them boo. You're here to win. Get your work off. Fly his head. Wheel out. Terence Crawford is a younger man. He's still in his athletic prime. If he can work and will, start in the middle of the ring, then when he gets to the ropes, get his work off, will out, this will be great for him. And those, my people, are the things we feel Bud Crawford should do if he does not want to lose to Jeff Horn. Until the next one, it's your man, Amazing Eric with Amazing Combat Sports. Peace.